Social Security 2026 just took a dramatic turn. And if you're receiving benefits or planning to retire soon, this could directly impact your monthly income. The Social Security Administration, SSA, has made a historic decision that experts are calling one of the most significant shifts in years. But here's the real question. Will this change put more money in your pocket or quietly reduce what you expected to receive? Millions of retirees, disability beneficiaries, and future claimants could see adjustments that affect payment amounts, eligibility rules, or timing strategies. Some people may benefit immediately. Others could face surprising changes that require fast action. And if you're not paying attention right now, you might miss critical updates that determine how much you receive in 2026 and beyond. In this video, we're breaking down exactly what the Social Security Administration SSA decision means, who is most affected, and the smart moves you should consider immediately. No confusing jargon, no complicated policy talk, just clear, straightforward information to help you protect your benefits. Time matters. The earlier you understand these changes, the better prepared you'll be to respond. Whether that means adjusting your retirement strategy, reviewing your eligibility, or simply making sure you're not leaving money on the table. If staying informed about your benefits matters to you, make sure you're ready for what's coming next. Smash the like button right now so more people can see this important update, and let's dive into what this historic SSA decision really means for you. Now that we've talked about how serious this is, let's break it down in plain English. The historic 2026 decision from the Social Security Administration isn't just a routine annual adjustment. This isn't a small cost of living tweak that comes and goes without most people noticing. This is a structural shift that affects how benefits are calculated, how eligibility is interpreted, and how future retirees may need to rethink their entire claiming strategy. If you're already receiving Social Security, you might assume you're safe. After all, you've already locked in your benefits. But here's the truth. Even current beneficiaries can be affected by changes in policy interpretation, taxation thresholds, earnings limits, and inflation indexing formulas. What looks like stability on paper can quietly shift when rules are updated behind the scenes, and 2026 is shaping up to be one of those turning points. For those planning to retire within the next 5 years, this decision is even more critical. The timing of when you claim benefits has always mattered, but now it could matter more than ever. Filing early at 62 versus waiting until full retirement age, or even delaying until 70, has always meant a difference in monthly payments. But with the new framework being introduced, projections for lifetime benefits may shift. That means strategies that made sense in 2024 or 2025 might not be the smartest move in 2026. Let's talk about cost of living adjustments, because that's where many people focus first. In recent years, inflation spikes led to larger than normal increases in monthly checks. Many retirees saw noticeable jumps, but policymakers have been debating how inflation is measured and whether the formula accurately reflects seniors' real expenses, especially healthcare, housing, and food. If that measurement changes, your future annual increases could look very different. Even a small adjustment in the inflation formula can mean thousands of dollars over a decade. And then there's the trust fund conversation. You've probably heard the headlines. Words like shortfall and depletion get thrown around constantly. What makes the 2026 decision historic is that it directly addresses long-term sustainability. Instead of waiting until the last minute, officials are making proactive adjustments. That may include recalibrating payroll tax caps, adjusting benefit growth rates for higher earners, or modifying how certain benefits are phased in. For higher income earners, this could mean contributing more into the system. For middle-income retirees, it could mean subtle shifts in projected payouts. For lower income beneficiaries, there may be protective provisions designed to ensure minimum benefit stability. But none of this is automatic in your favor. Understanding where you stand is essential. Another major factor is earnings limits for those who continue working while receiving benefits. Many Americans don't fully retire at 62 or even 67 anymore. They work part-time, freelance, or consult. If earnings thresholds or penalty structures are modified, that could change how much of your benefit is temporarily withheld. Even though withheld benefits are typically recalculated later, the short-term cash flow impact can be significant. Let's also consider disability beneficiaries. Changes in administrative review processes or eligibility definitions could affect timelines and approvals. While the goal may be efficiency and fairness, transitions often come with confusion. If you or someone you love relies on disability payments, staying informed in 2026 is absolutely crucial. And what about spousal and survivor benefits? These are often overlooked but incredibly important. If calculation formulas or eligibility rules are refined, couples need to rethink coordination strategies. A widow or widower's financial security often depends on maximizing survivor benefits. Even small percentage changes can mean the difference between financial strain and stability. The big picture here is this. Social Security was designed decades ago for a different economy, a different workforce, and a different life expectancy. Americans are living longer. Healthcare costs are rising. The workforce is changing with gig jobs and remote employment. The 2026 decision reflects an attempt to modernize the system for today's reality. But modernization can feel unsettling. Whenever a program that millions depend on undergoes reform, uncertainty spreads quickly. That's why clarity matters right now. The worst thing you can do is assume none of this applies to you. If you're under 50, you might think retirement is too far away to worry about, but early awareness gives you leverage. Adjusting saving strategies, rethinking retirement age goals, and diversifying income streams now could protect you from surprises later. The earlier you adapt, the more options you'll have. If you're between 55 and 65, this is your action window. Decisions you make in the next few years could permanently influence your retirement income. This is not the time for guesswork. It's the time for understanding projections under the new guidelines and possibly consulting updated benefit calculators once they reflect the 2026 changes. And if you're already retired, this is about monitoring and planning. It's about knowing how annual updates may shift and ensuring your budget remains aligned with reality. Inflation, healthcare premiums, and taxation on benefits all interact in complex ways. One more important piece: taxation of Social Security benefits. For years, thresholds determining when benefits become taxable haven't been significantly adjusted for inflation. That means more retirees gradually become subject to taxes on their benefits. If 2026 introduces revisions here, it could either relieve pressure or expand tax exposure. Watching this closely is vital. Now let's talk about psychology. Big policy changes often create fear. Some headlines will exaggerate, others will oversimplify. Your job is not to panic, it's to prepare. Fear leads to rushed decisions. Preparation leads to smart ones. As we move deeper into what this decision means, remember that knowledge is leverage. The more you understand about how your benefits are calculated, how your retirement age affects payouts, and how inflation adjustments compound over time, the more control you regain. And that's what this is really about: control. Social Security may be a government program, but how you interact with it is personal. It's your work history, your contributions, your retirement timeline. In the next segment, we're going to dig even deeper into what you should be doing right now to stay ahead of these 2026 changes, how to evaluate your own situation step by step, and what smart retirees are already considering before the full impact unfolds. Stay with me, because what comes next could shape your financial future for decades. Now let's shift from understanding the change to taking action, because information without action doesn't protect your retirement. The historic 2026 decision isn't just about policy headlines, it's about how you respond starting today. The first thing you need to do is get crystal clear on your personal Social Security statement. Too many people haven't checked their earnings record in years. Errors happen more often than you might think. Missing income years or underreported wages can directly reduce your projected benefit. With new structural adjustments coming, you don't want outdated or incorrect information forming the foundation of your retirement plan. Once you've reviewed your earnings history, the next step is scenario planning. Imagine claiming at 62, then imagine waiting until full retirement age. Then compare that to delaying until 70. Under the 2026 adjustments, the spread between those options could widen or shift. Longevity matters here. If you live into your 80s or 90s, delaying benefits often increases lifetime income, but only if you can afford to wait. That's where savings, pensions, and part-time income come into play. Healthcare is another key variable. Medicare premiums are typically deducted directly from Social Security payments. If healthcare costs continue rising, and historically they do, your net benefit may feel smaller even if gross payments increase. Planning for this reality means building a buffer into your retirement budget. And let's talk about inflation again, because it quietly shapes everything. Even moderate inflation compounds over time. A 3% annual increase may not sound dramatic, but over a decade, it significantly erodes purchasing power. If the 2026 formula changes how cost of living adjustments are calculated, understanding that shift early helps you adjust savings withdrawals and investment strategies accordingly. For those still working, consider how payroll tax changes might affect your take-home pay. If contribution caps are adjusted upward, higher earners may see more withheld from their paychecks. While this could strengthen the system long-term, it changes short-term cash flow. Awareness prevents surprises. Couples should have coordinated conversations now. Spousal strategies, survivor benefits, and timing differences can dramatically influence household income. In some cases, delaying the higher earner's benefit can provide long-term protection for the surviving spouse. These conversations aren't always easy, but they're necessary. If you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, pay special attention. Your reported income directly impacts your future benefit. Underreporting to reduce taxes today may cost you significantly in retirement. The 2026 reforms emphasize sustainability, and accurate contributions are central to that goal. Now let's address something important: emotional readiness. Retirement decisions are not purely mathematical. They're personal. Some people value freedom at 62 more than maximizing income at 70. Others prefer the security of a larger guaranteed monthly check. The key is making a conscious decision informed by updated facts, not reacting blindly to headlines. Another powerful step is diversifying income streams. Social Security was never designed to be the sole source of retirement income. It's a foundation. Strengthening personal savings, maintaining flexible skills for part-time work, and reducing high-interest debt all increase resilience. If you're within a year or two of claiming benefits, consider consulting a financial professional who understands the 2026 adjustments. A second opinion can reveal blind spots. Even small timing differences can mean thousands of dollars over your lifetime. For younger viewers, here's your advantage: time. Compound growth in retirement accounts, consistent contributions, and career advancement can offset uncertainty. The earlier you start adapting to policy shifts, the less disruptive they become. Let's also remember the bigger perspective. Social Security has undergone adjustments before. It has survived political shifts, economic recessions, and demographic changes. The 2026 decision is significant, yes, but it's part of an ongoing evolution. Systems adapt because societies change. What makes this moment different is the scale and timing. With millions of baby boomers retiring and fewer workers supporting each beneficiary compared to decades past, proactive reform is unavoidable. Ignoring that reality doesn't make it disappear. So here's the bottom line: don't panic, don't ignore it either. Review your records, run projections, have conversations, adjust your strategy. Stay informed as implementation details unfold. The difference between stress and confidence in retirement often comes down to preparation. And remember, this isn't just about numbers on a statement. It's about your lifestyle, your home, your travel plans, your ability to help family members, your peace of mind. The 2026 Social Security shift changes the landscape, but it doesn't eliminate opportunity. In fact, for those who act early, it may create advantages. Stay alert, stay proactive, and most importantly, stay informed. Because when you understand the system, you're no longer reacting to it. You're navigating it with intention. Your future income is too important to leave to chance.